Hello and welcome to RPG Quest, a podcast where we play one-shots of all kinds of different RPG systems. And this week we are playing Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. I am Chris and I will be your game master, but of course the real stars of the show are our brave heroes. Say hello, heroes.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hi again, I'm JD. I'm playing Rudolf Sperl, warrior priest of Moor, ready to slay demons and just generally kick ass.
I am Amber. I will be playing Daisy Doobles, your humble peasant.
G'day, I'm Liam J Cotterill, and once more I am jumping back into the childish role of Michel Sealer.
The seaman.
The seaman. Yeah, that's the only thing that's ever going to be reinforced about Michel.
And I am Torin McClellan as Dominique Lefrancois. Very, very attractive male model. And fence.
Love it. Love to see it. Well, in the last session of Night of Blood, the four of you were traveling by coach down south, away from Ubersreich, along muddy paths through the forest, following alongside a river heading southward. But your coach was attacked, tipped sideways as you were ambushed by mutants and beastmen under the cover of the storm. You managed to fight them off, killing some and scaring away the rest, although taking some injuries yourself. And under the night and through the storm, you headed up this muddy path until finally you came to what appeared to be a tavern just on the horizon, sitting in between the road and this river to the right. And you could just make out from the distance just the dim light of lamps inside, although the tavern itself is surrounded by a very high fence, maybe 12 to 15 feet. It does seem like there are people inside sheltering from the storm. And if you're to get out of danger and just into comfort, this seems to be the place that you would want to head.
Dominique is sprinting for the building.
Of course.
Michel is kind of half supporting Rudolph, I think he was at this point, and possibly Daisy. I think they were both kind of limping along in pain at some point, weren't they?
Yeah, you'd both taken injuries, right?
Oh yeah. I'm definitely up and walking, and I would definitely take your assistance and mumbling words of concern as you're dragging me towards this inn.
Come on, Gov. Hurry up, yeah? We don't want to be caught with any more of those things out there, you know?
And yes, as you head towards this tavern on the horizon, very much a welcome sight for our weather-worn travellers on this foul night. The main gates are closed, and as you get closer, they seem to be securely locked. You can just see the sign, and beyond these gates, just above the front door, the symbol of a hooded man.
Like that's the bar's logo sort of thing, like their sign, a hooded man.
Yes.
We see a hooded man.
No. You see a wooden symbol above the door swinging in the storm of a hooded man. The name of this tavern, or this riverside inn.
Oh.
Is it any particular, like, religion, or...
Oh, no, it's just a cool name.
linked to anything? Oh, right.
It's not a reference to anything, really.
And can we see others in this tavern? Like, does the tavern appear to be, like, open and, currently serving people?
The gate...
Sorry.
The gate is closed and locked, but as you peer through the bars, you can see that, like, just the slight illumination of lamp lights on the first floor. You can all make a listen check. It'll be a hard difficulty for everyone, except for Dominique Francois, which will just be challenging, just a
Where is the
standard.
listen? Can't see it on my sheet.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it.
I think it's under... would you roll perception? So my talent that is acute sense hearing, it says you may make perception tests.
It's just a perception test, but we're saying as a hearing.
Right.
Yeah. So if you roll perception...
So it's a hard one.
Hard difficulty, yes.
Mine is just challenging?
Just challenging for Dominique as you have the acute hearing feat.
I did very well with a 14.
Yeah,
I
you
did not with a 43, so that's 3 failures for me.
And failure for Daisy Doobles. Just hearing this muttering in her ear, the other side of her.
as you all sort of stand against this fence and try and peer and listen in, it's impossible to hear over the thunder and over the storm. But Dominique, you just through a few breaks in the thunder and the wind, you do hear a little bit of sound, not coming from the inn, but actually you hear sort of loud neighs and kicks coming from the stables. Horses seem to be upset by something. The stables, it sounds like they're coming from the back corner. You can't see the stables through the front, from where you are at the front, but you can also sort of circle around the fence in the tavern as well.
I turn to the group and say, there is something spooking the horses.
Yeah, well, it's all this rain and thunder, isn't it? Horses don't like thunder.
Is that what spooks horses? I don't know. I've never done anything with the horse. It's too dirty for me.
That does not surprise me at all.
Look, we can go have a look here. Worst case, we can maybe calm them down a bit.
Oh, I'll be getting into this place, that's for sure. Even if I have to burst through it. Let's look around. Let's see if there's a back entrance.
Beautiful. So as you look to your left, there's trees and nothing. But as you look to your right, as you see the river that runs sort of parallel with the road that you are following, you also see a little ferry and the ferry and a little small building next to the riverbank as well, which looks like a ferry room.
I mean, do we have to go to the back? Like, I just want to get some wine and a bed.
I think Daisy will start trying to just sort of hammer with her fists for a bit and then start shoulder barging the door, see if there's any give. She's a big strong lad,
Yeah.
lass.
And I'd probably yell out, asserting authority or of some kind that, or as a warrior priest, that they should demand to open the door.
Of course. As you try and scream over the storm, Rudolf, Daisy, you can give me an athletics check. I am going to say this would be actually a very hard difficulty.
Oh, come on.
This is a chained-up fence.
You've seen the image of Daisy Toobles. She is thick and strong.
So let's do it then.
She's built for it, tough.
Exactly. That's a critical failure.
Oh!
Not only failed, but critically failed.
You think that means you just have a heart attack and die, does it not?
Yes, that's exactly what it means.
Careful, Warhammer rules, that's pretty brutal.
I wouldn't have been surprised, honestly.
I knock myself out. I slip as I hit the wall with my shoulder, and I hit my head and knock myself out. Collapse like a sack of shit. Now you guys have that to deal with as well. Which, I'm not doing any less or more harm by just being there, so it's fine.
You rip part of your sleeve as you try and barge this fence open. You can't. This gate.
So long just so that no one makes size 24 shirts. It's like
That will not mend easily.
So many hours. It's really hard to thread a needle. Oh wait, no, I'm passed out. I'm not talking.
No, you're not passed out.
Fine, I'm just going to torture her. It's like, threading the needle was the hardest thing with these hands. It's such fine work. It took hours just to thread that needle.
But as you guys look
Looking
around
at the rest of the men for any bright ideas.
Don't look at me.
Look, if we just want some,
maybe.
If we just want some shelter, then why don't we just go up and just stay in the ferry house? Yeah, we don't have to go inside. We can just stay there. If this gate's all locked up as it is.
Yes, perhaps the storm will not last too much longer. The seamen may have a point.
Aye, beggars can't be choosers.
As you say that, Rudolph, lightning strikes even closer, and the wind picks up double.
I like shriek, but I'm hoping that the lightning covers that kind of very unmanly yell and through the lightning strike.
I think Dominique just fully does shriek, and it's very feminine, and he's fine with it.
Do you guys head towards?
Everyone freaks.
Do you guys head towards
We
this
all
ferry
jump
house?
and run towards that ferry house.
Yes.
We lumber our way down there.
No problem. Give me, as you go sort of rush close towards this ferry house, whoever wants to can give me just a challenging perception.
Yeah.
Really getting used to seeing failure when I do checks in this Warhammer.
I was thinking that. Oh, there we go.
Exactly the number I needed.
Comes through marginally succeed.
And I love when when it's green, it's like, you marginally. Oh,
like,
thanks.
Don't get
You
too
succeeded,
happy. You didn't do that
yeah.
great. You just
I'm
barely
watching
fucking
you.
made it.
So that's failures from Dominique and Rudolf, but successes from Daisy and from Michel. So as you charge towards this ferry house, as you get closer, Rudolf and Dominique, the door is open, just ajar. It's sort of banging in the wind, and you charge right in. Daisy and Michel, as you're sort of following up the rear, you actually notice as you're running towards the ferry house as well, a trail of blood from inside the ferry house leading out into the muddy path that you're currently running over, as though something has been dragged from the ferry house someplace else, although it's currently getting washed in the rain and the mud.
Easy will definitely sort of like look across to Mikhail, catch his eye, I imagine, just sort of like, that's not a good sign.
I struggle.
Yes.
I sort of sniff into the air and to try and see if I can smell the stench of beastmen and detect.
Don't rush straight in there. That's beard. They're gone.
It's alright, lad. It's alright, lass. I think they're already in there, yeah? Worst case, they'll run into it. We might be able to still get over that wall.
That's true. Better them there and us with a bit of running distance.
Rudolf and Dominique, as you get to the ferry room and open the door, just as they mention this trail of blood, you sort of look in, and lightning strikes, illuminating the room for a brief moment, and you do see, it looks like there's been struggle inside. Some of the furniture is overturned, but there is no sign of any people, beastmen or otherwise, in here.
Is there a bed? What does the furniture look like?
There is a little bed that's been overturned, just kind of like, well, it's actually just kind of, a straw and a straw stuffed, mattress and stuff on the floor. But that's all been kicked up, and there's a chair and table that's been knocked over.
Okay, well, dibs?
I'd probably be a little alert. The ferry is still attached, I assume.
I was about to say, is the ferry still tied there?
The raft is still there, yes.
Is it a covered raft or an open?
It's an open raft.
And I turned to... have you two followed down to where we walked down in front of you?
Seeing nothing jump out at you, I would.
I would look back and ask seaman friend, is this craft seaworthy? Probably never been on water, really, at all.
We'll go off. She's floating, yeah? Best of my knowledge, I say so. You have to push out into the water, though I don't suppose that's probably a good idea at this point in time.
An astute observation, my young son. And I look to see if I see the struggle of it. Does it look like one person has kind of been dragged? Would that be definitive, or is it just there's so much water and muck and crap? It's hard to sort of tell.
Give me a... What is Warhammer's sort of version of, investigation, kind of discerning information from a situation?
I think there probably is...
There's intuition, but...
Otherwise, just perception, right? Like that's sort of a.
Well, perception's sort of like what... Yeah, perception's kind of like what you can see. I want to sort of know what you can defer. But yeah, just make a
There's
perception.
also there's research as well, whether that's like studying or whether that's...
Yeah, there must be something that's a bit...
Or track, if it's something to do with like...
Yeah, true.
Ooh, yes. I tell you what,
yeah.
I will allow you to do to use track. I will allow you to use perception,
Oh, yeah.
and I will
have it.
allow you to also use intuition as well. Any of those that you want to. Intuition is probably like, it's more of a vibe check. Like, are these people about to betray me, or is something? But I'll allow you to use intuition or perception or some kind of tracking skill in this situation as well.
Probably all be the same number unless you've got any bonuses on any of those.
Yeah, they are the same. Did you say a challenging or something a bit harder?
Just challenging.
Yeah, I think just in the way that Rudolf acts, he's gonna use his intuition to try and envisage what this struggle would have entailed and how successful if it's one or two people. You know, that kind of vibe of like it really went bad, or if we're dealing with like a larger number of opinions. 2 successes.
Beautiful. Rudolph, I imagine you kind of sniff the air and try and figure out what's going on. It looks as though the ferryman was dragged out of here in his sleep. Well, from his bed, kicking, probably by 2 people, but no more than that.
Like pick up his nightcap.
Yes. This little starched little nightcap with a little pomp on the top. 1 slipper.
Easy night for our ferryman. I do not like the idea of leaving the weak defenseless, but I also do not like us out in this storm.
Yeah, this is fine. I've stayed in a lot worse barns than this. This looks cozy. Get out of the rain at the very least. Somewhere safe and dry.
Yes, I don't think you should leave me alone. I am very weak, you know.
Yeah, look at him. Most beautiful man I've ever seen, but it's just skin and bones.
I look at the size and the height of everyone and I go, but perhaps the boy could be avoided seen. Maybe we could get a little closer to have a peek.
Wait, Gov, you volunteering me, yeah? What's all this then?
For the greater good, my son. All eyes watch us and judge us. Every day is a chance to prove ourselves in the eyes of more.
All right then. Yeah, look, I suppose I can be a bit sneaky if I need to be. Truth be told.
Although we would need, not to meta play, we would need you to manage this craft, I assume, because none of us would know what the hell we're doing.
Yeah, I do. I can row pretty well.
Do you guys want to give me just a general kind of I mean, you would know from local law, right, that little roadside stays like this, little roadside inns like this, are usually spaced a day apart. So if you were to jump on this raft and sail either way, you'd be sailing for maybe you'd move a little bit quicker than a horse. But all these little taverns are placed a day apart up the road because it's basically, you stop at the end of the journey, you have a rest, you get up the next morning, then you travel for 8 hours and then get to the next place and that kind of thing, in between any sort of major cities. So in terms of places to stay or towns, I mean, you don't know the area too well. There might be random little hamlets and stuff here and there. But in terms of this main road or traveling up the river, it could be a full day up the river before you find another place.
How is the door to this little thing, the little shack, like battered and like destroyed, or is it?
It's slightly fallen off the hinges.
Oh, Daisy's already in and bunkered down and comfying herself in a corner.
In the bloodied sheets.
Yeah.
Look, no, I think
blood on the walls. It's fine.
Now I see your picture isn't actually nice little pink motifs. It's just old blood.
It's blood stains from slaughtering the chickens and the pigs. What do you think happens on a farm? I'm a peasant. Life is hard. Get your hands dirty.
Dominique goes, Daisy, no.
It's airy. There's good ventilation in here. There's fresh water outside. It's out of the rain. You're so fussy.
I think while they're having this discussion, Mikel might slip out and do a quick skirt around that little inn.
Yes, for sure. You see there's...
I'll reassure you by saying I'm keeping watch, but I'm just poking my head out of the door.
As you step out of this little ferry house that rests right on the river there, you see that there's a little fork and there are two paths going on. The blood trail drags out a few feet, but because of the rain and the mud and the storm, it's impossible to determine where it goes. But there's this little fork in the paths. One of them leads back to the front entrance that you know to be locked. But as you look to the right fork that leads off to the southern end of this, the other side, the corner of this fence that circles the tavern and this whole lot, that gate doesn't seem to have a lock on it.
Okay. As I get closer to that, I'll kind of like see if there's any like. Can I have a look and use like tracking to see if there's like any drag marks or anything going in to that area, or?
Yeah. You can give me a perception or tracking.
What a challenging?
I will say hard, just because of the rain and everything.
Oh no! Astounding failure with a negative 8.
It's so muddy.
92.
It's so dark and muddy. It's impossible. But you do really, as you're sort of scoping out this tavern, you see the light on the bottom level there. It's a 2-level inn. But you, noted by something that Dominique said earlier, you do hear the disturbance of horses in the stables in the far other corner. You could just hear them over the sound of the storm. These horses sounding very spooked and worried.
So then this gate is open, you said, yeah?
It's not open, but it's not locked. You can push it open. As you give it a little push, it creaks open.
I might do that then. And I'll kind of make my way quietly towards where the horses are.
Sure, towards the stables, of course. If you're trying to go quietly, give me a stealth. I will say, though, because you're doing this under the cover of storm, this will be an easy challenge.
I haven't got anything under stealth. Like, stealth is an option underneath ride, but I've got nothing underneath it.
Well, if you don't have stealth as a skill, it will just be agility, AG.
Oh, dear.
Is the base skill. But that's okay. It's an easy...
You said this is going to be easy.
So a plus... Easy is a plus 40.
Why would you say it's okay? I told you. I told you.
Couldn't go wrong.
I did. I was 4 off. My target number was 66 and I got a 70.
Oh my god. Okay. As you sort of approach the stables, which are in the far sort of northeast corner of this lot, the far corner, the opposite corner to where the actual tavern is, in this fenced-off little lot, you hear that the horses are restless. You hear these loud neighs and kicks as you get closer. You sort of get closer to the door and go to peek in, and you see feasting on the body of a dead stable boy what appears to be some kind of giant spider. But then you realize, as it notices you and it rears its head up to turn and look back, it is not a spider, it's a mutant. It's a human body with a human head and arms, with the legs of a spider protruding from it. And it turns to look at you and to charge.
Oh dear. That's not good. Michel would be trying to leg it at that point in time.
Absolutely, please. I feel like that would be the very smart thing to do as you see this spider begin to chase after you, as you run through the mud back towards the gate and back towards the ferry house. Give me, please, an athletics. Because of the rain and the mud, I'm going to add a minus 10 to that. It's going to be difficult.
Oh god, this is basically impossible for me to pass.
Don't say that.
I needed a 17 and I got a 25.
As you rush out of the stables and in beeline for this gate through the mud and through the yard back out to the ferry room, you kind of slip a little bit and fall in the mud and kind of pull yourself back up and maybe just peek back over your shoulder to see if this spider mutant is following after you. And right at that point...
As I do that, before you kill me, I'm going to spend a point of fortune to bump that marginal failure to a pass. So when you spend a fortune, you can use it to add 1 success level to a test after it's rolled. So that will mean I pass the test.
Amazing. Oh, incredible. Yes. Oh, that's so good. You see that this thing's sort of chasing after you, and as you sort of slip and turn back to see it, you see it like goes to jump towards you, and it stops for a second and realize one of its spider legs is caught in the stable door, and it looks back and kind of spends a quick moment trying to pull its leg out, giving you just enough time to scramble up and run back to the ferry house.
The seaman is returning. Good news, I assume.
At top speed, he is returning. And you can just
he's moving a bit quick.
And you just hear the rain and thunder, and then you see his mouth moving. And then as he gets closer, he just says, "Oi, you lot, you want to get up here? There's a giant mutant spider coming through behind me."
He's not lying.
He slides in the mud and whips out his his sling as he starts whipping it, puts a stone and it starts getting ready to whip it around.
This thing
just looks at Dominic and is like, still not coming in. Nice and cozy, spider free.
I think that you should probably go punch the spider
I have to
with your
punch
big,
everything around
dirty,
here.
grubby maulers, and I will stay here.
Hey, these dirty, grubby mullers are gonna keep you safe, boyo.
Yes.
Michel and obviously Rudolf being standing in the doorway, sort of semi-keeping watch, you see that this spider thing is only yards right behind Michael Sealer, ready to pounce and attack. So I would like initiative from everyone. Now, I kind of struggled with initiative last time. I think we will roll for initiative because I don't like the idea of everyone being stuck in the same order every single time. I think that's not quite fun.
Oh,
so what I was thinking we could do, and what makes most sense for me, is to roll 1d10 and add your initiative modifier, which should be like a +2 or a +3. So if you just roll like 1d10 +3, and we'll arrange it in order from highest to lowest. Let's pull out
The initiative is the I. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dominique fast on his feet.
It's 3, so I'm 11, sorry.
Oh, nice. 11 for Daisy Doobles. Amazing.
Yeah.
Those of you outside, as you see this spider mutant approaching you, he looks at Michael Sealer and he looks at Rudolf Spurl. He says, "Hi, what would you like?" No, just kidding. He just goes, and Daisy, you hear this from outside. It is your turn first to jump into action, but you are in by the bed in the ferry house.
I think that's very much that mid-conversation of talking to Dominique, just being like, "Oh, I have to go punch everything around here. Pretty, but ain't worth a spit." Pulling up her grubby, blood-covered, not embroidered with pink, but blood-covered sleeves, and starts stamping out the door to, like, get a look at what she's actually about to punch. And then when she sees it, she'll just straight up ham fist swing at it, probably.
Haymakers. Exclusively haymakers.
I imagine the old Lisa Simpson windmill.
Followed up by the Bart Simpson kick.
You've got weapons, Daisy. You've got weapons.
Oh, that's...
She's got guns.
You've got. I mean, your fists are weapons, very good ones. But you also have a dagger, and actually, you have a basic hand weapon. And the thing with basic hand weapons is, I'll let you decide. They all do the same damage mechanically. I'll let you decide what your basic hand weapon is. It could be a club or a little sword or an axe.
You said when near like a little, hut that has like, probably it's a bit shabby. If there's like one of the planks or like a 2x4 or something, she'll definitely get that up.
Sure. I'm talking about the weapon that you already had. You did have a hand weapon already, your own hand weapon already.
That could be your weapon.
But your weapon could just be a nail. Just a really nice bit of wood. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? It would be no. It's a cast iron pot. That's what it would be. The classic cast iron fry pan.
Oh yeah.
That's 100% what my hand weapon is. So I'm just fucking swinging that thing.
Yeah. Handed down generation to generation.
Yep. You should see the seasoning shine on it. It's like lost.
So, Daisy, you emerge from this ferry house to join Rudolf and Michel, still out in the rain in that little section of the path in front of the ferry house, and you see this spider-legged... They're like spider legs, but they have tentacle suckers on them. So they're like half spider, half kind of octopus. This mutant standing there, ready to attack.
Hey, smack the ever-loving shit out of it. Hopefully. I definitely attempt to. What's the difficulty for that one?
Still just 1-on-1, as the others haven't really joined the fray yet. So it would just be a...
Challenging, like neutral.
Challenging, yes, neutral.
Hey, I marginally succeeded. I succeeded. Barely.
He is going to try and defend, though, as he tries to dodge out of the way. Oh my god.
Wow. It's an outstanding, an astounding failure.
An astounding failure. As this giant legged mutant tries to duck out of the way, you just connect with your pan, dealing 7 plus opposed success level. So it's going to be...
It's 16, isn't it?
It's going to be a 16.
Wow.
That's astounding.
Good old Daisy.
Damn.
She's got her strengths, limited but strong.
Well, this sheet is very, very obviously wrong. Because it shouldn't have been a 0. Let's put the target number as a 0. It should have been for a dodge. The target number should be 30 for this guy's dodge. It's still going to be an incredible failure. It's going to be a -6, not a -9. That's still going to be 13. 13 points of damage.
Still ridiculous.
Oh, this is incredible as you connect, bang, straight in the side of the head with this fry pan.
Remember to add your advantage.
Yes, everyone remember to keep track of your advantage. Your advantage now, as you made a successful attack, Daisy Doobles, ticks up to 1. You should have your little advantage tracker there on the combat page.
I do.
I imagine it's just the home run bat sound from like Super Smash Bros.
His toughness is 3, which is going to absorb 3 points of that. So you're going to deal 10. You're going to take off 10 wounds off this thing. As you smash it upside the head, you see a few teeth fly out as the side of the cheekbone splits open and blood sprays out across this thing's face. It is its turn.
Hold on, just before you do go, I just dropped a link into the chat for everybody as well. That shows you how you can spend your fate, fortune, resilience, and resolve, which might be very important for you right now, Daisy. If this thing hits you and hurts you a lot, because you can spend your fate to literally say, wait, how did that miss? And you just completely avoid the incoming damage from an attack.
Nice.
Yes.
So that might be very, very helpful for you.
Yeah, no, that's a very good timing. Bit of information.
All right. This spider mutant, it turns to you, and you see it has curled up in one of its little sucker spider legs, this large club that it's going to swing out and try and hit you with, Daisy. You can use your pan to defend.
With my fry pan. Yeah, of course. It's the to and fro of the combat with the frying pan. And
Beautiful.
Another weapon.
It's a marginal success, +1. So I'd like a weapon roll from Daisy Doobles. Hell yeah.
Ooh, I just nailed it.
Success level 3. So to its 1. So you, as this thing brings its club down towards Daisy Doobles, you put the pan up and clank. This club bounces right off. You see this happening, little Michel Sealer, out in the storm, and you're only feet away.
So Michel, realizing Daisy's been dropped twice already today, and that Rudolf probably is in no form to be fighting either, realizes that this is a shot that he will not fail. I'm going to spend that point of resilience to trigger my I will not fail to roll a natural 1 on my sling bullet.
Oh, yeah.
So, are we outnumbering it 2 to 1 in that respect, I would imagine?
Yes, you are outnumbering it 2 to 1.
Which means that will give me a success threshold. Normally it would be +3. It'll give me a +5 threshold. So I believe just flat out, I'll just do straight 11 damage.
Amazing. Do you want to roll until to see which body part you hit?
Bullets. I rolled a 1.
Oh, yes.
Choose what I rolled.
1 to 9. Yes, sorry, 1 to 9 is head. So you just, from very close range, just lean back and swing this sling and straight into the skull, and the skull breaks open, kind of like an overripe watermelon, as the insides just burst out, and this thing collapses on top of Daisy.
You're right, that lass.
The spiders don't quite fit back the same back in the village. Yes, I'll be fine. Just, it's everyone now. Wiping of muck off of herself.
You do holy work there, Daisy. Every dead foe strengthens my faith in you.
I was the young lad. I just clanged it good.
I put my sort of arm and tap on Michel Sela. Sigma guides you, my young friend.
I don't think... No, Gav. I don't think you mean Signa, yeah? It's not the right god. The god of the sea is the one I'm after. She's the one that guides my hand, yeah?
Yes, there are a lot of gods, and everyone is very religious. Can we go to the inn now?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we should probably go check those horses.
My liking.
I will try and... I don't know what state this creature is in, but leaving a body out exposed is invites more chaos and heretics, and we'll try and push dirt or muck or anything that there might be around to sort of bury it a bit, if possible.
There's this giant spider, kind of like dirt onto it.
Kick it into the water.
Oh yeah. Actually, that's not a bad idea. We can drag it to the river. I imagine no one's gonna help.
Oh, I would probably help.
You see, the storm has added a little bit of extra flow to the current of this river, and as you manage to drag this body through the mud and throw it down, it doesn't take long for it to begin just sort of slowly floating away and out of view.
I use this moment to sort of console Michel Sela. So when the people forget their duty, they are no longer human. They become something less than beasts. There is no place in the bosom of humanity, nor in the hearts of humanity. Let them die. Let them be forgotten, my son.
And after that, he stops talking and there's a pause. Mikel looks over. You talking to me, Guff? Sorry, I was a bit zoned out there.
Yes, every day is a lesson. I just assume he's always paying attention. As I imagine we will then head back up and join the others.
Yeah, of course.
Yep.
You're very close to the edge of the river anyway, so everyone could kind of see and witness this. And I imagine, do you plan to move as a group within the compound grounds and towards the main tavern door, or do you want to explore elsewhere in the yard?
I would want to go and check on the horses.
And I want to see what death and decay may be in store for us inside. I assume it's not good. Other bodies that must be attended to?
So, as you all enter this compound, there are 3 buildings here within the fences. The main one that you can see, 2 stories, is the inn itself. Immediately to your right, as you enter this back gate, 2 stories as well, there is another little building that appears to be like a garage, like a place for carts, with a second story above as well. Maybe some kind of quarters. And then, of course, the 3rd building in the far corner is the stables.
I know I assume it's still storming, but are we only just hearing the distressed horses, or is it the sounds of anything else particularly that we might, as we're moving closer towards? I assume we're all going through the gate together?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll go with. I'm gonna be last for sure.
It's really difficult to hear anything over the sound of this heavy storm and the thunder.
It's still going.
Yeah.
Izzy's just kind of got her head down against the rain and just plowing forward. I imagine that if Rudolph's in front, just following behind, just whichever direction he leads. Let's just get there, out of the rain.
You're a farming stock. Perhaps you can tend to these neighing curs.
Horses is what we generally call them around here.
Ah,
Yeah, I'll definitely be going in, seeing if I can settle these horses.
Kel will go with her, because he's actually quite a good hand with animals.
And of course, Michel, you would know that in the middle of the stables, outside of where the horses are, was a dead stable boy on which this mutant was feasting.
Oh yeah, this is what it's talking about. You're right, lass. There's a little bit of a scene in there. That thing that chased me back, yeah, he was having his midnight meal, I think we'd say. May have been some poor lad that wrong place, wrong time, if you get the drift.
Oh, that's unfortunate, but I'm no stranger to death. It's harsh times on a farm. You see the life cycle of many a creature. Something you'll have to come to terms with.
Didn't think you were of the weak sensibilities type. Not like that Le Francois one. Looks like he'd probably turn a bit green if he saw this himself.
What a nonce! Have you seen his dress?
Oh, is that? Yeah, I was wondering about that one.
Oh,
It may be of interest to both of you to know I'm actually very good at hearing, so just
yes.
for the future.
People good at words. I'm good at listening to. God, good at everything but a good day's hard work.
Just quickly, as Daisy and Michel push open the doors and enter into the stables, what is Rudolf and Dominique doing? Are you hanging back and waiting for them, or are you going to just by yourselves make your way towards the front door of this inn?
Yeah, we'll definitely head towards the front door.
I guess I will too.
Cool. You walk through the grounds and head to the front door of the inn. You can definitely see through the curtain. The curtains are drawn, but you can see just through the curtains a soft glow, though there's light from inside. And as you get closer, although it was impossible to hear over the storm, as you get right to the door, you can hear the sounds of some merriment from inside. You know, it doesn't sound like a huge amount of people, but, you could hear some conversation and some drinks being had. Chairs scrape, bottles clink.
Seems like the kind of place I would like to go. What do you say?
Maybe there's life in this tavern after all. Curious how they did not hear through this storm, or no. Make haste, shall we have a drink?
Oh, God, yes.
I think the others can handle the horses. It's what they do best.
Agreed.
Can we, did the door go up to, and I assume just push it open?
It is bolted.
Ah, curious. They have seem to not be expecting visitors this late. Do the sounds that we're like basically right near the door, the sounds of merriment inside, I know that's obviously a joyful thing, but it's not like it's very audible that we can hear human speaking and drinking or plates scraping and that kind of thing.
Yeah. You could give me an intuition as well if you'd like to.
Yeah, why not? Just I hold my arm up, just about to like thump, and then I just decide to just put my, which you can see by my picture, quite large ear to the door. Any just normal challenging?
Actually, I will say again, because of this storm, just a difficult, not a hard.
Oh, that went well. Yeah, sounds like wood.
It's impossible to make out how many or, what kind of mood they're in. But there are people inside drinking in an inn, which, from your experience, is quite a normal thing for an inn.
A couple rat-a-tat-tats from the door.
As you rat-a-tat-tat...
I get behind him.
As you rat-a-tat-tat, there is a brief moment of silence. And you hear sort of like, it's like that clink, and then a scrape of a chair, and then stop. And then you hear footsteps then begin to approach the door, and you hear bolts being unlocked. And the door opens. But there's quite a pause between you knocking and the silence and someone actually coming to the door. And you see he opens the door a crack and looks at you, and you see this horrendously fat character. And he looks at you, and he looks almost surprised to see you. He says, please, come in. As he pulls the door open and leads you in. And as he opens the door to expose the barroom to you, you see there are 3 people in there. There's a gentleman by the fire. He appears to be quite a handsome gentleman, big blonde, curled, twirled moustache and a nice ponytail. And he's wearing the uniform of a road warden. It's basically, the police who go up and down the streets and make sure people are safe. And he says, Oh, I wasn't expecting anyone this late. As this fat guy sort of steps into the tavern room, the bar room. Come in.
We weren't expecting to be so late.
Oh, aye. You best come in. He sort of goes to close the door behind you and bolt it up again.
There are 2 others out there and of our party, and we are seeking
out there,
food.
Out there in the storm. We had to lock up. We were worried about, mutants and marauders and whatnot. It's dangerous out there.
Oh, yes, we know.
Oh, aye, and it is good to be worried, son.
Well, they're coming.
2 companions are tending to your horses and soothing their frustrations. They will be in shortly.
Why? Horses, eh?
And we will have food and meat and anything you have of offer. I understand it is late.
No, I suppose you'd be wanting some food then, eh? And you see he looks back towards the bar, and you hear a loud thud and clunk as you see this other figure begin to sort of mop up behind the bar and sort of pull out some glasses and begin filling them with ale. And he's sort of got a little mop as well. So he's cleaning. And he sort of looks at you with these large kind of protuberant eyes. And then he sort of mops that up and moves the mop into the kitchen and emerges back from the kitchen and begins making some ale. And you see the gentleman by the fire, this blonde-haired gentleman with a mustache, he's toking on a pipe. He's got his feet up on another chair. He takes his feet up off the chair and sort of gestures to you to sit and sort of looks around. He says, evening. It's a rough night out there.
Very rough, yes, very rough.
He gestures for you two to join him.
A fellow member, a defender of the innocents. We will join you.
Please, come tell me a story. It's just been us 3 here all night, so it'll be nice if, you could tell us what you've been up to.
I would sit down with a somber demeanor and be like, before we tell ours, I would be interested in understanding what story you have of not being on the roads this evening. As I would recognize that he's wearing the gear of someone that might be a guard, I assume, or a defender.
Of course. And he kind of has a little puff of his pipe. And we might just cut away from there for the moment. Yes. Back to Daisy and Michel as you enter these stables and you see this body of this poor young stable boy dead and blood across the floor, and these horses have calmed slightly, but they're still very spooked as they're sort of softly neighing.
Such a senseless waste of life. No, girl. Easy now.
It's always a shame when they don't even make it to manhood. Poor lad, as I said, wrong place, wrong time, yeah?
The horses are more settled than not. I fear they'll be uncomfortable in this storm regardless of what we do to them. It's one of those awful nights.
Do the horses look like they've actually been taken care of, or do they look like they've just been, thrown in here.
No, they look like they've been taken care of. Looks like the stable boy's been killed only recently.
I guess if they're already being taken care of, and Daisy would be right, they're not going to really calm down in this kind of storm anyway.
Yeah, and I imagine, like, after having sort of, like, calmed them for a few moments and just being in there and then realizing that the other two aren't with us or coming back, and like, we should probably see where the other two have gone. I don't trust that old weird priesty boy going on about God and demons and salvation, all those big words. And, I mean, look, they're probably getting along very well together, but it's best not leave them alone by themselves.
Look, you're not half wrong, you're not. Two people would like talk and probably don't listen much either to each other, so I mean, to be fair, it was probably quieter out here with the horses, but there's probably food and drink in there, so we probably should have a look.
Agreed. Let's leave these beasts to their restless night.
As you make your way to the back to the inn, inside we see Hans by the fire. As Rudolf and Dominique sit down to join him as he puffs on his pipe. You see he lights it up again, takes another puff, and he says, out on the road in this storm. I've been on the road all day. This is, no, this is where I'm holed up for the night. Although I'm a bit of a night owl myself, hence why I'm still up enjoying a drink with the old landlord here. All the other guests went to bed quite early. That's my story. That's about it. Got into a skiff with a few marauders, you know how it goes. But other than that, a pretty uneventful day for a road warden.
Just marauders, or did you have some less than natural experiences?
Fortunately, no. Made it here before the storm kicked up, so I was lucky in that regard.
If he was hiding something, could I do a gossip check to, like, get him to say more?
I mean, if you had something specific in mind that you're trying to, I guess coerce him into talking about. But I think if it's just sort of a general, trying to get him to open up and talk to you.
I think I just I was thinking about just kind of learning,
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, yeah, for sure.
Is.
You can make a gossip check if you're trying to sort of, like, get more out of him about, like, what's been happening on the roads and stuff. You can make a gossip check, just challenging.
So I have a question. If you reverse a 50, does it become a 5?
Do you have a skill that allows you to reverse the numbers?
I have a talent called Gregarious. You just like talking to other folk, and it seems they like talking to you. You may reverse any failed... Oh, I didn't fail, though. Never mind. Okay.
Yeah,
That's really cool skill, though.
That is very cool.
I like it.
Incredibly good.
A 50, marginal success.
You see, he kind of looks left and right, and he looks back at the guy that was mopping the floor as he moves into the kitchen, and then you see Otto, the landlord, the fat guy, kind of move back in the kitchen as well, and he kind of leans in. He says, why? Have you seen mutants?
Don't want to alarm you at all, but yes.
Bugger.
There's a dead one outside. We killed it collectively as a group. We all contributed.
Do not look so surprised. If a warrior priest walks in here, surely we have reasons to be.
And he says, where did you find this mutant then?
He was a spider creature, mutant, eating a young boy out in the yard there.
And he says, the stable boy. And then at that point you hear the knocking at the front door.
That's probably them now.
You see Otto, then this enormous fat landlord emerge from the kitchen. He says, "Oh, and this is your friends, is it?" And he sort of steps out from behind the bar and sort of taps on his apron awkwardly, and he looks back at you and says, "How many?" As he makes his way to the waddles towards the door.
Just 2.
Oh, all right. Daisy and Michel, there's sort of an awkward pause as you're standing at the front door, waiting for it to unlock before it finally opens. And there's this enormous fat man open the door as his blotchy sort of face looks down at you. He says, come in.
Thank you very much. This is very cozy.
Oh,
I've said that about every single place so far.
I'm afraid we don't have any rooms, though, for the night. We're all booked up.
A comfy chair will do me fine. Just being out of the rain is
We'll sleep on a chair.
Are you sure there's
walk up and down.
no beds at all?
No, we do have beds in the common room. No individual rooms, but if you don't mind sleeping on the bunks.
No, I don't mind that at all. I don't. I'd much rather that than sleep outside right now.
Right.
Any bed will do me.
A holy life is a humble life.
It will have to do, I guess.
Daisy's probably just doing a massive eye roll anytime Dominic complains or makes a comment.
Dominic biting his tongue.
At that point, Dominic, you see the other servant kind of emerge, the one with the kind of slightly bulgy eyes and kind of hunched over, with 2 mugs of ale, and he passes one to Rudolf and one to Dominic, and you see they're quite dirty. And he just walks
Daisy,
back.
I think this is for you.
Pleasure.
I mouth
Drinks it without a
a prayer like, Sigma, protect me, as I just take a swig.
Do you have any wine?
New wine? Oh, I'm afraid not.
That's unfortunate, I suppose.
I have some ale. It's good for you. It'll put some meat on that bones.
Nobody wants meat on the bones of a male bottle. Okay, not in this place.
Hans puts his arm around you, Dominic, and he says, "Oh, come on, have an ale with us."
I will have an ale.
I
There's a lad.
I
do my
guess.
best Bretonian I can and say that it's not bad. So I actually speak Bretonian. But not well. I butcher the accent.
I just say your accent is atrocious, and I am deeply offended. Okay, ale it is.
Does anyone care for a game of cards by any chance? Or some dice? We play that too. Happy to take any of the money you got.
I only know go fish. I don't know if you can bet on that. I just ate it with my ma.
Look, I'll be honest, I'm willing to bet on anything. Really, when push comes to shove, I'll give it any kind of game a go with some betting.
I do not gamble, but fate is all decided for me. So do not
then,
get
if the
offended
fate-
if I win.
If fate's on your side, then you may as well throw some money down.
It'd be wrong to deny a chance at fate, would it not?
Yeah, you see, now that's the behaviour we want, isn't it? That's the attitude.
Hans, the road warden, who's there with you, kind of leans in, just as Otto goes off to fetch some more ales. And he leans in and says, I'd be keen to play some cards. But he sort of leans in a bit more. He says, but first, what the hell is this about a dead boy?
Ah, poor boy.
He is dead. He was killed.
The stable boy.
You see he puffs on his pipe and leans back a little bit. Looks over at Otto, who's currently pouring some ales behind the bar.
So Otto's the innkeeper sort of thing.
The fat landlord,
Lean over
yes.
to the other two. Be like, did you tell him the stable boy was killed?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, you and the priesty.
We just told this gentleman here.
I look confused. I assumed you would have dealt with the lad and put him a few feet under. No?
In this weather, he'd float right back up again.
I'd be a little bothered by the fact that there's just a corpse hanging out outside.
We thought we'd better just leave him here until a priest had something to say over the top of him. So it doesn't seem right. It's to bury the poor lad there for no reason when he hasn't been blessed by no one.
Hans waves his
Adjust.
hand and says, that's probably correct. We can deal with the boy's body after the storm. But Otto told me that the stable boy had run off.
He's definitely dead.
Geographically speaking, he was a boy in the stables. I don't know if he was your stable boy or just a boy seeking shelter there who, got slaughtered coincidentally, but
Or a boy who just likes stables.
and there's a boy who just likes stables. Or horses.
Or perhaps it stabled the boy to be stable.
I think you should both sit down before you hurt yourselves. It definitely was the stable boy.
I'm just quaffing more ale. Dribbling it down everywhere.
Speaking of which, I do love that there is a consume alcohol skill on our list.
Oh
No,
yes.
it's a skill.
Oh yeah, let's use it.
I was
like
going to
any
say
other.
we're gonna use the have a little practice using the consume alcohol and have a little practice using the gambling skill as well, because at that point I'll say Otto, the fat landlord, comes back with 2 more large tankards of ale. Again, the glasses don't appear to be washed as he plops them down in front of you. And he lets out a sigh and looks kind of awkward, and he says, "Well, I suppose you'd be wanting some food then, all right? I guess I can rustle something up for you." He begins to make his way back towards the kitchen.
As he goes, I say, my man, do you have any servants or anyone who could give me a hand with some of my luggage?
Oh, aye. The servants are asleep in the servants' quarters, though, which is out there in the adjacent building. I suppose if you do want to brave the storm, but... I'm sorry, where is your luggage now?
I left it by the stable. Should I get the stable boy? Or...
I mean, if you can find him, sure. I assume he's probably in the servants' quarters, although I haven't seen him. I think maybe he got spooked by the storm.
Daisy says under her breath, eaten more like.
What was that?
Okay, well, I'm sure I'll figure it out. Yeah, no, it's okay.
I'm sure Hans here would give you a hand.
Yes, he's very helpful. I'll talk to him. Thank you.
Right.
Is there something? Can I roll? I don't know. I guess intuition to see if he is as dumb as he seems.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, give me a challenging intuition test, please.
Doesn't matter.
An impressive failure. Oh, look, he just seems like a fat landlord who's probably flustered by the storm and everything that's going on.
Looks like someone Daisy would probably get along well with.
Dominique just looks up and goes, "This place is disgusting, and I cannot wait to leave."
I'd rather take your chances out there in the rain. Oh, choosy beggar's a cold, dead beggar.
I will stay.
I would like everyone... Let's do this. Let's make a consume alcohol check. This is something that if you fail, you get a like a -10 penalty to some certain skills, so like weapons and ballistic skills and stuff. But because this is only ale and not particularly strong, I won't make it difficult. I will make it an easy difficulty consume alcohol check from everyone, please, as you sip this ale.
I assume they make it
Ooh.
because it's funny that it's a skill, but it's probably cleaner than water, right? Like in olden days, so
yeah.
everyone would be consuming alcohol.
So Daisy got a critical failure with a nice 99 there on the dice.
Jesus, talk about being able to hold his alcohol. Dominique.
Oh my god, these are some high rolls.
Drinks all the time. He's probably drunk right now.
Clearly a stronger brew than they would have in their monastery.
Oh, so Mikel, mate, Mikel can...
This is piss water.
Yeah, mate, you can really throw them away. Success level 3, success level 2 from Dominique. Although a failure from both Daisy and Rudolf. What this means for you is a -10 penalty to all weapon skill, ballistic skill, agility, dex, and intelligence-based tests.
Which works perfectly as we lead into gambling.
Hell yeah. I imagine at this point, Mikel, you pull out the cards and begin to shuffle.
Oh, yeah. And he does like all the fancy tricks with them. Like he waterfalls them, sprays them out on the table, folds them over backwards. Alright, so we're going to play a round of Sigmar's Hammer. Essentially, I'm going to give you each 3 cards, you're going to give me 1 back, and then I'm going to give you 2 more, and then I'm going to give you 1 back, and then you're going to give me 3 more, I'm going to give you 2 back. We all understood that one, yeah? We all know the rules. You're going for the high card, low card, then low card, high card. Sweet? Cool. Here we go.
He just looks up. Anyone have any 3s? No? Okay, and then like reaches for the back to take a card.
He's like, no, lass, no, you throw me one. You know what? Just turn your hand over, I'll do it for you.
Good lad, quaffs more ale.
So, this is going to be, for the first round, intelligence checks. Gambling, sorry. If you've got gambling as a skill, it'll be gambling checks. If you don't have gambling, then it's just an intelligence test. It will be just a challenging difficulty for everyone. I will say it will be average for the first round for Michel because you're familiar with this game. And then, of course, for the 2 that failed their consume alcohols, being Daisy and Rudolf, you'll be rolling
Make
gamble.
that 10 harder again.
Exactly. And I'm also going to roll for Hans.
Read 'em and weep.
Alright, so my target number was 71, I got a 13. So that was an astounding success with 6 successes.
Incredible.
So would I go to a challenging roll then? Because that's the 1 step down from average, or would I go difficult with the -10?
Difficult. I think I was the only one who got average.
0, so yeah.
Yes.
Oh, right. So then.
So just roll. Just roll as a difficult. Yes, because you're adding.
Cool.
Oh, do we
Yep,
use our fortune? Do I waste a point? Wow.
Astounding failure from Daisy as a 97.
So playing Sigmar's Hammer was a great idea.
Oh my god.
I feel like Michael knew this bar.
Kale organised the carriage being derailed. just to lead us here to shut.
Wow.
The closest anyone got to Mikel was a -4 to his +6.
Yes.
So 10 steps of difference.
Basically Rob Dust.
Yes. Mikel got a +6. Yeah, the next one below that was Rudolf with a -4. Dominique with a -5. Hans also with the -5, not doing great. And then, of course, Daisy with a -8.
Still asking for those 3s.
Playing an
entirely different game.
Never bet against a sailor.
Hans says, jolly good. Certainly know your cards.
Yeah, I'd say it was very, very jolly good. In fact, ended up pretty well. While we sleeping in a small pile of coins tonight, then.
Looks like this seaman is a master better.
Daisy roars in laughter and quaffs more ale still.
Confused at how it's funny. I look at her being like, well, he is. Fate smiles on us all. It just didn't look my way.
Now, Dominique, Hans leans back in towards you, this road warden, and he says, now, you asked me a few questions. I'd like to ask you, what is it that 4 heavily armed people roaming the roads at night? You know, we have had problems with bandits.
Just always prepared to cook, really.
And since you are maybe inquiring that we are bandits or some kind of ne'er-do-wells, and I can only say that my response is look at me and just think about the question again.
I'd pull out the religious order and symbol and documentation, apparently, that I have, and be like, we mere travelers, while heavily armed, are armed with faith, and these companions are under my guise as we bring about just resolve for those who need help.
He says, okay.
Yeah, what he said.
I was just asking. I mean, you know, otherwise, who else would be out on a night like this, I suppose? And, you know, I guess your sudden appearance kind of unnerved the landlord somewhat.
I mean, ideally, we would have arrived earlier, but the coach was, it broke.
Oh dear. And at that point, Otto, the landlord, sort of stumbles out of the kitchen with a tray of food. He says, "All right, I managed to rustle something up for us. Please tuck in, and when you're ready to head up to the rooms, old Fagor here will take you up to the rooms. We can sort out the rent in the morning." He puts the plates of food down in front of you.
Delicious. Thank you so much, sir.
All right.
Appreciated humbly.
What's on the plates?
You know, a stew. It looks like it's been stewing for quite some time. You know, a lot of places like this will just, add stuff to the never-ending stew and put more things in and keep the kind of stock going forever. So it's just a very rich, thick, warming stew and a little hunk of very hard bread.
Pot of grey, we like to call it.
Yeah, little Michel Sealer. You, I guess, sort of, pull this pile of coins towards yourself after absolutely obliterating everyone at this game at the same point that Otto returns with these 4 plates of warmed stew and stale bread that he plogs down on the table in front of all of you. And Hans has another little puff on his pipe, and then he says, I might head up to my room and get some rest. You all enjoy your meals?
Would be
nod.
skill to roll. Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm just eating food. That's all I was going to say.
Skill to roll to see if he's like leaving because of his own accord or leaving because of us.
You roll in. You could, I'd say, roll an intuition. Make an intuition check, please. Just challenging.
Oh, nailed that! Nice little 11 critical success.
Nice.
You've been rolling amazing.
Incredible.
That's some interesting.
I will say this. As the road warden stands up to walk away, we'll get to that in a second, but everyone can also make a perception test on this food placed down in front of you. But it's going to be a difficulty of very hard.
Don't think I've succeeded.
Is this for all of us?
Whoever wants to, yes.
I literally could not have succeeded.
You could have rolled a 1. Oh, target number -1. Oh, God.
Target number was
Yeah.
a 5.
Yeah, you could have.
That's fine. You the food looks fine. There's nothing special about it. It's just thick stew. It's like, it's sustenance. But Daisy, as you sort of look up to see Otto leaving, he doesn't seem to be necessarily leaving because of you, but he gives a weird look to Otto, who sort of gives a little nervous look back. And then you notice on the back of Hans's uniform, on the back collar, some blood. So he begins to walk away upstairs.
Daisy would just sort of presume that most people have a similar life to her, in which, having to deal with the hard cases of killing animals and shit. So, errant blood splatters, probably just be like, all right, like, sure, that's fine. Probably just slaughtered something and just got a bit of blood on the back of his neck. It happens. There's weird looks between the landlord, though. And little knowing looks, but then also, she's dumb as a doorstop, so that's about the end of her intuitive perception. And what any of that means. It's just guffawing down this delicious slop.
And what about Michel and Dominique? Do you scoff down the food also?
No. Dominique turns his nose up at it.
Mikel will definitely eat it. He's had worse when he's been at sea. No, on the river, sorry. He hasn't been to sea yet.
No problem. I would like Rudolf, Daisy, and Michel, 3 of you, to please roll 2d10 plus your toughness bonus.
It's 11 for Rudolf, as he humbly accepts the soup and takes a little taster to see what it will be like before he dives in.
That is an 18.
13. Key number 13.
Lucky number 13. A few minutes after that, Otto comes back out of the kitchen, and he says, "All right, I'll take you up to your rooms then. The common room, that is."
Yes, lead the way.
Much obliged.
All right.
This is probably eating a few spoonfuls out of the bowl that Dominic didn't touch. Just like just nodding, still cramming mouthfuls in.
Still juice on the chin.
Yeah.
He says, as he
Uses one ham-sized arm to wipe her face.
Otto says, "Yeah, all right, follow me," and begins leading you upstairs. He says, "I'm very sorry we didn't have any private rooms, milady. I see we got a coach party who's taken all the rooms, so you have to share." And the hallway is wet and uncarpeted, and as he sort of moves through the hallway, you get to the common room. He opens the door, and it's pretty dirty. And the bedding itself appears to be kind of soiled.
And did you say it was wet in the hallway as well?
It's wet and there's no carpet. Yeah, it's just wet wood.
Wow. Dominic could be right at home.
He's not touching anything.
Oh yeah, Mikhail's probably. You've been in worse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Daisy would be like, "Oh, it's fine. My sleeping clothes are much the same as my living everyday clothes. I'm sure it won't be an issue."
Dirt does not bother, but the damp is something I detest.
Otto says,
Moist.
"I'm sorry, in this storm it's the best I can do."
I understand.
Right,
The
well,
stable was drier than this.
oh, I wouldn't want to be sleeping out there on a night like this. There's a reason we locked up.
Well, thank you. You're a good man for taking us in.
Oh.
I've been telling this one all night. Beggars can't be choosers, so thank you.
Oh,
I think that beggars can't be choosers so long as they act like beggars. All you need to do is fake it till you make it.
Never,
There's no way you
never
can
asked
fake
for more.
milking a cow.
Yes, but you can fake having money.
don't worry about money. We'll sort the money in the morning. You'll get some nice rest now. So,
As he leaves, I'd be like, I've never known someone to be less concerned about money. Usually they're quite sticklers for getting everything up front.
you hear the sound of, as the door closes, you hear the sound of Otto turning the key from the other side in the door lock. So the door to the common room is now locked, and you are inside. Rudolf, you begin to feel very lightheaded.
Well, may I appear to perhaps a little too much ale?
You had one drink?
Clearly strong stuff.
I don't
Does
know
it-
about that.
Sit down on the bunk.
You can't keep yourself awake. You just pass out. You feel like, you can't even prop yourself up anymore as you just collapse.
Mumble some words and some perhaps minor songs as I just sort of snore off. In collapse, I
Typical.
assume, on the bottom bunk.
That's men of religion for you. Lazy as the day is long.
Can I tell that it's not drink? I feel like I have some idea of what.
I mean, do you have any sort of medical related skills?
No, but I have a lot of being who I am and the kind of people I keep company with. I would recognize the effects of alcohol and the effects of non-alcohol. Maybe very well the effects of
Once
like
or twice.
drugs or something.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
Monique's definitely the type of dude to be roofied.
I will allow you to make a make an intelligence
Roofie check.
make an intelligence related check, and I will actually make it difficulty of easy as you sort of look upon Rudolph's behavior.
That is a 97.
My God.
Nice.
To be clear, you needed to roll below a 74. And you rolled
97.
Dominique. You know, you're at first you're a little suspicious. You're like, he had one bloody drink, but then you kind of think, well, you've never drunk with this man. You don't really know him. You're just traveling companions. So, who the fuck knows what's going on with this guy?
Okay, well, our fanatical friend has passed out for the evening. Did you all hear the door lock? Or was that just me?
I mean, I've never stayed somewhere as fancy as this. It's usually just the old homestead, but it makes sense to lock us in, right? Make sure we don't go pilfering through any of his stuff.
Nope, not how that works at all.
It's a hotel standard, surely, yeah.
Are there windows?
There is a window in this room.
Did seem odd that he wasn't really concerned about getting any money from us. He didn't really care even if we had any. He was just sorted in the morning. And what I know of businessmen, I mean, down at the market, you can't get tick from anyone. It's always money up front. So that's different business practice. That's what I'm used to.
As you're trying to sort of finish this thought, you feel extremely drowsy, and you begin to feel your knees buckle, and as you begin to collapse under the weight of yourself, you feel like you're about to pass out.
Oh, that's my bit. Oh, and then just crumples up like a sack of shit.
Now,
I tell with Daisy?
yeah, I was going to say, now this is getting real. Now this is getting really suspicious, Dominique. I will say you can make another intelligence-based check. This time I'm going to give you a very easy difficulty.
Roll another 90. Do it.
Yeah.
Am I also, still awake?
You're still awake, Michel. You're fine.
That is an
Was
18 on a target of 94.
Astounding success.
And surprisingly, Mikel is actually incredibly intelligent.
Ah. As you look at Daisy collapse, you just see a tiny sort of bit of foam around the mouth, Dominique. Mikel, you notice this as well, and you've seen this before. Kurtz. Kurtz is a drug made from the Gortsiet plant, and it makes people drowsy, or in large doses, makes them do exactly that. Collapse like Daisy Doobles.
Do I know if they can be woken up?
You don't think so. You've just got to kind of wait it out.
How about, for how long?
Anywhere up to 10 hours.
Oh, you stupid big woman. You ate so much stew. You are all drugged. My friend, you're going to pass out, probably. And then maybe we're going to die. I'm open to suggestions.
Don't rightly know, lad. No idea. Tell you what, Gov, how about we slap him around a bit, see if they wake up.
You can try.
We'll walk up and drop some.
You could try, fucking Dominic, lazy, pansy-ass fucking model. Can't do anything.
Who do you try to slap awake first,
Break
Mikel?
a nail on someone's face.
Well, I'm not going to slap the large, burly woman that could beat the crap out of me. We're going to try the other guy.
Beautiful. Rudolf, give me a Rudolf, make a just a challenging endurance test for your endurance skill. Mm-hmm.
Oh, good.
As you slap him across the face, you just feel like you're doing more damage than help.
An impressive failure. I just haven't rolled anything above a failure.
Below,
I don't think.
I'll allow Miss Daisy Doobles as well to make a challenging endurance test, please.
Challenging endurance test. All right, there we go. Endurance. That's just a regular failure. It's a 67 when target number 39.
Daisy vomits a little.
For God's sake, someone turn her on her side.
Mikel.
Some good medicine checks there.
Mikel, at this point, you begin to feel lightheaded as well.
Oh dear. I'll turn and be like, Right, Gav, I think I'm going down too. All right, see you on the other side, hopefully.
So nonchalant.
Not the first time he's been shanghaied.
Right, we're in Satan.
And no,
Dominic will talk us out of this.
Dominic, you see Michel Sailor pass out. I've been making rolls for how many hours it's going to be, little secret rolls. But I will allow you to, as well, Michel, make a challenging endurance test to see if you can shave some hours off this as well. Is that a failure?
That is a failure. It was 62, so a failure of -3.
I'm just imagining you giving a little salute to Dominic before, like, passing out. It's hard on the floor.
As he collapses backwards, yeah.
So, Dominique, you find yourself alone in this room. Your companions passed out on the beds and on the floor as you are locked in. And that is where we will leave this episode of RPG Quest.
Alright, thanks very much, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Yes.
Have a good one.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Well, we will be back next time. In the meantime, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. We are also on YouTube and Patreon. And please tell your friends. We'll see you next time on RPG Quest.